Hello. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Hi, everyone. How are you? Let me make sure I got my stuff set up here. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. Welcome. Welcome to Grow with Dezi. I'm super excited that you are here with me. I don't like that one. Let me use this one. There we go. There we go. Welcome. Um, I'm happy to be here with you tonight again on a beautiful Thursday. We are almost at the end of our week, which is super exciting. Super exciting. I'm glad for Friday and it's almost here so I can go into I take a minimum of 24 hours of rest. It's rest, hang out with my family and go fellowship at church and just have just a good time resting. That is definitely possible. And considering the fact that tonight the topic I'm talking about is the hustle and rest don't actually go together, right? So anyway, I'm going to give Facebook a little bit of time to build an audience. And in the meantime, for those of you that are here, please just go ahead and say hello in the comment box. If you're new to checking me out on Facebook, just say hello anyway. I want to know who you are. And if you are watching on the replay, please make sure that you say hello and just let me know that you were here by doing a little hashtag replay. That'll let me know that you're here. So I am really just been utilizing this new way of working with my own platform and creating the space that I want for my life and for my business. And I just really got into this space of, there's so many people out there that call themselves influencers and so many people out there that are out there like they're doing really, really big things. And because they're doing so many big things, if you find yourself caught up in the comparison gap, say, oh, well, I can't do anything that big. So it doesn't even matter. I decided that for me, it doesn't even matter. And that I would create a space that you could feel comfortable to grow. And so as I'm growing, because I do not believe in trying to ride this thing out solo, I believe that, kind of like I remember back in my direct sales days, and there was a saying that we had that we were all one-winged angels and we needed to lock arms, arm in arm, and we could all fly together. And so this is a place where we can grow, and I'm inviting you to grow with me. So welcome to coming and hanging out with me. So tonight, in this whole thing of growth, tonight I wanted to talk about the hustle. The hustle. I have a love-hate relationship with this word. The hustle. When I think about the word hustle, it conjures up a lot of different images. Like when you think about the word hustle, what would be a definition of the word hustle that you would use? What would you call hustle? When you use the word hustle, what does that word mean to you? And I guess that it could look like, however we perceive it is what it is to us. But when I think about the word hustle, and I apologize for all the glare, I'm trying to get my lighting right over here. We got the sunshine beaming in, which I love, but it's not good for when they're trying to shoot a video. Anyway, when I think about the word hustle, I think of like a used car sale. A used car salesman. Whenever I would hear the word hustle, that's what I would think of. And if you think about a used car salesman, that's the last person that anybody would want to deal with, right? Like, I know for me, if someone tries to sell me something or try to hustle me, I am not going to be too happy of a person, right? And so whenever I think about the word hustle, that's what I would feel like. And then I would see like these behaviors and the characteristics of hustling and what that looked like. And then I would find myself talking about, any type of side interest that I have as my side hustle. I'm sure you guys have heard that word, or you hear about, you know, you know, uh, get your hustle on, meaning, you need to go out there and just work hard. Or you hear the word hustle, like, it would be associated with stuff that folks would do on the corner of the street, with some stuff that's illegal and all that other stuff. So there were just so many different things that the word hustle the images it would conjure up and the thoughts it would conjure up for me. And I think back to like when I did my very, very first women's conference and how that was all birthed and why it came all about, and um, how I experienced like this really big thing, and to see a dream, it came out of a thought. It came out of a, hey, I have an idea. This is what I want to do. And taking it from there to having, over 200 women in our space, and, it going really, really well. And I don't say that to be like impressive or anything. But I say that for this reason, is that after that happened, I got scared. Like, straight up, I was afraid. It was successful and I was afraid. And I went into this cocoon. Now, at that time in my life, too, oh, hey, hey, Mary. Hey, Miss, I'm traveling across the world. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for joining me tonight, hon. Thank you so much. Let me turn this overlay off as well. So here it was, had the success and stuff, and I was just scared out of my mind. I was scared, and I went into this really deep place. And hey, my friends are joining me. How cool is that? And Ramona, hi, my love. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and my brother from another mother. What's up, Twan? You are doing so many awesome things around the world. You guys, you need to follow this guy. He is a complete inspiration. I had to give you a shout out, my friend. But he's got this really cool thing called the Prison Transformation Initiative. I think that's the name of it. Twan, correct me if I'm wrong. But y'all need to follow him because he's really awesome. And he's doing some really amazing things to help other men. So that's very cool. Anyway, so here I was, and I was in this place of just being afraid. And I went into like a depression, and there were just a lot of major life things that were happening at that time. But I look back, and then in thinking about that word hustle, I'm like, how much did hustle have to do with what I did back then, what I've done up until this point, and what I'm doing for my tomorrow? And looking back over all those years, looking at every failure, looking at every confusing moment, looking at every shame, looking at everything that would say that the place that I am in my life today is not where I should be. But it has everything to do with what God wanted for me, and what he wanted for me, and who he wanted me to grow into. So when it comes to the word hustle, I want you guys to shift the way that you think about the word hustle. I'm shifting the way that I think about the word hustle. And when I think about the word hustle, I'm thinking about being able to serve over strive. Being in a place of serving, whether it's with, my skill set on the job, or whether it's with your skill set on the job, or whether it's with in serving within, you know, your faith community, your church, or whether it's just serving your neighbor, you know, the people right next door to you. Um, Hustling being a thing of service rather than striving. Ooh, I like that. I like that, Mary. Mary says, I look at hustle as seeding, the hustle planting seeds. And what happens when we plant seeds? Things grow. Things grow when we plant seeds. I love that, Mary. So there's like this worldview, because we all look at this world from the place of our own perspective. We see the we see the world how we see it. It may not be how the world really is, but the way that we see life is the way, our worldview, and that's how we apply everything to our world and everything that we do. I love the quote. I forgot who said it, but it's something to the effect of, how we practice is how we will perform. So if we take hustle from a place of serving versus striving, then we will be able to look at a lot of things differently. So hustle when it comes to work. And this is where this word gets near and dear to my heart. Because I am one who I find, I found, let me put it that way, I found a lot of my value and my esteem and the way that I saw myself in my work. Now, with that, it can be good because, if you value your work ethic and, you pride yourself on doing great quality work and excellent work, per se. But I found my value inside what I did. The better I performed, the better I would see myself. And soon I couldn't keep up with how much I performed. So therefore, you know, I began to see that because I couldn't keep up, or I was overwhelmed, or to be quite honest with you, I burned out. That purview, that worldview that I had of what I did factored into who I believed I was. And when I burned out, and I mean, y'all, when I tell you I burnt out, I tapped out. I completely tapped out. And it was a really tough time in my life. And so when I think about the word hustle and work, there's another piece to this that I want to add into that, is rest. And being able to see work the way that God intended for it to be, not as defining us, but as a means to an end, and then rest as a means to an end, so that you and I could be our very, very best in who He created us to be. I've had to shift the way that I see all of this. And in seeing it differently, I've learned how to apply different lessons to not and I'm not saying, okay, we're not to work hard, we're not to grind, we're not to, do things with an intentionality. because there's a big difference between being very intentional about what it is that we are focusing our attention on for a certain period of time to get to an end result versus constantly being in this mindset where, okay, well, I'm grinding, I'm grinding and going because I'm trying to get, because this is who I will be once I can do, get, and have all of the things on this side, which is completely backwards. It is completely backwards. What God has taught me, and I just want to share this with you, is that there is, now that I understand this thing called life and work and following a dream and creating a path and working towards a legacy that I want to leave for my children, what God has shifted inside of me and how I see work and rest and the hustle is that I can have and you can have a holy hustle. What does that mean? What it means is that because I understand that I am created in the image of God, and because I understand that He has blessed me and I am fully and completely, I have everything that I'm resourced and need within me because He lives inside of me, that I have the ability to work with excellence. I have the ability to work with intentionality. I have the ability to work with, work hard, to work hard. And at the same time, trusting that my faults, my flaws, my shame, where I screw up, that His grace will cover that and I can rest because He promised that the good that He started, He'd finish. That is an absolute promise, and you could take it to eternity with you. If He started something good inside of you, He's going to finish what He started. And no amount of striving and doing it on your own can beat that promise. So there's work that we can do, and we can work hard, and we can be excellent and efficient and intentional, and we can be, very, very focused and diligent and dedicated and do our best. And then there's a time for rest. And when we rest hard. We rest our heart, mind, body, and soul in trust, in a perfect trust that what He started, He promised He's going to finish. Now, you might have some questions like, okay, well, Desiree, well, how come there's so many people out there that are out there hustling and they're getting their grind on and they're striving and they're doing all this stuff and they're making it further than I am? You might have that question. As a matter of fact, I had that question too. I really did. But here's the answer that I got. And, it may help you. It may not help you. You might need to go and find your own answer. You might need to get your own answer. But here is what I learned for me. Their path is not mine. What I've been called to do is what I've been called to do. What you've been called to do, what you've been purposed and chosen to do, up until this point, every single thing that's happened in your life to make you the person that you are today, if you are not the person that you want to be, the person, and you're not operating in the space of, okay, I get to leave a legacy to my children's children. I get to leave an inheritance to my children's children. If that's not who you've been up until this point, guess what? You get an opportunity to choose differently and to choose better. You get to choose. That's what's so awesome about this whole thing called life, is that we get to choose. So we can be dedicated, we can be diligent, we can be excellent, We can work hard. We can be intentional. We can work smart. And we can do it for a limited period of time. And when it's time to rest, we are going to rest fully, heart, mind, body, and soul. Because if anything's out of harmony, it will show up in your life like it did in mine. So, is the hustle sold separately? Is it? Do you think that there are just special people out there that have more oomph than you? If you do, I want you to forget about that thought. I'm going to challenge you to forget about that thought, and I'm going to challenge you to think of another thought. And here's the thought that I want, or the question that I want to ask you to think about. What were you made to do? Who are you called to be? What is your purpose? Okay, I said one question. That's 3. What is your purpose? What is it that you have been given to do? And what are you going to do about it to do it? That's my question for you. That's what I have for you. And that's the question that I had to answer for myself. Unless if you don't have a path to where you can hold on to some sort of promise that no matter what you do, how you do it, if you do those things that I shared of the dedication and all of those things, and you're all in and you're fully present in what you're doing, and then you sit in this other place of trust, knowing that you've done your very, very best effort, and you sit in a place of trust and say, you know what, God, okay, I'm going to trust you. You make up the difference. If you can do that, I promise you, he will show up. Now, I'm not saying look for the big old things, and I'm not saying don't look for the big things. What I am telling you and what I'm sharing with you is that unless we allow for both sides to have harmony and balance, our work, our hustle, and our rest, our hustle, unless the two have balance, we won't win the way that we should win. Because God has every good and perfect gift that is available for you. But you gotta have trust. I didn't have trust back then. I knew how to work. And my perspective was skewed because of a lack of trust. And I don't want that for anybody else. So I know my mission and I know my purpose. And you guys, if you haven't heard it, you can go check out some of my other videos or go check out my Facebook page, because I've got a lot more there that I share about why I do what I do and why it's so incredibly important to me to continue on a growth path. Because without growing, the alternative sucks. It means remaining the same, getting the same old mess that you've been used to getting over and over and over again. It's like putting lipstick on a pig, and this time the lipstick on the pig is purple instead of pink, and then the next day you put it on, or 5 years from now you change the lipstick to red, but you're doing the same stuff. Or you have the same attitudes and behaviors. Or like I shared last week, the example of picking the wrong person, I use man because I talk to women, so yeah, guys, forgive me. But just you keep picking the same type of dude, but you keep having the same problems, and you're wondering, well, how come? What's the problem? It's the choice that's the problem, and beyond the choice, it's what's on the inside. It's what's on the inside. So the hustle, is the hustle sold separately? Only you can decide. I challenge you to go all in your work, and I challenge you to go all in your rest. And in both of those, grow. So, what have we been doing, doing it all wrong? What have we been hustling all this time and just doing it wrong? Well, you get to choose differently now. And you're not by yourself. You're not by yourself. You got any questions, you can always, 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 always send me a DM. Ask me your questions. I promise you. When I tell you, girl, ask me anything, you can ask me anything because I use my life as a teaching, as a teaching model because I want to help women share their stories. So that's all I got for tonight. I appreciate y'all just joining me and jumping on with me. Share with me your hustle story. Share with me how what you found as you have gone through this path and as you're learning differently. As you're learning differently, the learning doesn't. It's not. It can be better. Your life it can be better, but it can be different too. And different is okay. Different is okay. I promise you, doing things differently, choosing to grow differently is okay. So I challenge you to join me. Sorry, I missed the comments, y'all. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. Maggie girl, yes, you know it. You helped me with this a lot too, and I appreciate you for just being that mentor that I can bounce things off of. Mary said, I found her discussion very enlightening because this is what I've been thinking about during my road trip. What's important to me and how can I seed so others grow? Mary, stay in the question. Stay in the question. You will find such great gifts in the question if you stay in it. When you get stuck, that means you're getting closer. So just stay in it and it will find you. I promise you that. Well, thank you all. Thank you all for that have joined me. Sharice, hey. Hey, Pastor Kathy, thank you for joining. Thank you so much, everyone. Bradley and Angela and Melanie and everyone that joined me tonight. Thank you so incredibly much. And I will see you again next Thursday. Have a great night.